Hi lovelies, welcome or welcome back. Today we are setting up my bullet journal for April 2025. And Ohuhu has kindly gifted me 3 sets of their markers, so let's take a look. We have a 24 color water-based dual tape marker set and a 36 dual tape acrylic marker set, and this gorgeous 160 color brush marker set, which I'll probably use for my bullet journal. And let's start by swatching them all. First up, the acrylic markers. This 36 dual tape acrylic marker set has a brush tape on one side and a dot tape on the other. It's really handy that these markers come with a swatch card. This set even includes a black swatch card, which makes sense since acrylic markers have great coverage and many people use them on dark backgrounds. The swatch card in the box already has the pen numbers printed on them, and I love that the sequence matches how they are arranged in the case. It makes it easy to create a nice color gradient. The numbers are also printed on the pens, which is another bonus. I'll be swatching directly in my journal, so all my swatch pages stay in one place. The colors are so vibrant and the pens glide smoothly as well. The brush tip is easy to control and there's absolutely no bleed through on my 100 GSM paper. I've never had acrylic markers with dot tapes before, so I'm really excited. I think they'll be super cute for journaling and planners, but also great for other creative projects. I also love the case. It has 2 layers and keeps everything perfectly organized. And even though there are only 36 colors, I think the range is well balanced with a bit of every color. Next up, the 24 color water-based dual tape markers. They also come in a handy case, but there are no color numbers or a swatch card included. These have a dot tape on one side and a fine tape on the other. I've lined up all the pens by color and will swatch them now. As I'm swatching, I noticed that some of the pens have metallic colors with a subtle shimmer in it, which you can see more clearly on the fine tip set. I really like the fine tips in this set. It's something I've always been wanting to get but never got around to researching, and now I have them. These markers seem great for journaling. The dot tape is perfect for stamping out to-do lists, and the fine tape works well for generating. Also, if you press harder, you can even use them for bolder titles or brush lettering. So they're basically a 3-in-1 pen. The ink flows smoothly and the colors are beautiful. I really love this set, especially the metallic ones. They are a great addition to my pen collection. So now I've swatched both sets. Now onto the main set, the Ohuhu Maui 160 color dual tape water-based markers. They come in this beautiful floral case. I believe there's a black version available as well. These markers have a thicker brush tape on one side and a very fine tape on the other. The set also includes 2 swatch cards and a reference card with all the colors and numbers printed on it. I'll be using this set for my April bullet journal because the wide color range really gives me plenty of options. Oh, the pens are all numbered, which is super helpful, but the case is a bit tight, so I ended up pouring them all out on my desk, and wow, I never realized how much space 160 pens could take until they covered my entire desk. I had to put my journal on top of the pens just to do the swatching. So the ink is really smooth, the pens are lightweight, and the brush tip feels great, soft but firm enough to have good control. You can create thick strokes but also write small details with them. To save time and space, I'm skipping the fine tip swatch, and hopefully all 160 colors fit within these 2 pages. I noticed that from number 100 to around 130, the colors have lower saturation, and there are a few neon shades after that. So if 160 colors feel too many to you, they also offer 60, 100, and 120 color options, I believe. Alright, all the swatching is done. It definitely took some time. Now let's move on to bullet journaling. I've picked out a few green, yellow, and pink pens from the set because I want to do a kind of spring theme for April. I know it'll be autumn in April here in New Zealand, but I haven't done a greenish theme in a while, and since it's spring for lots of you, why not? So for the theme, I'm going for a patchwork style design. I've lightly sketched out some square blocks in different sizes to fill in, starting with the base colors for the backgrounds, then moving on to patterns. I'm starting with a green plaid pattern. Since I layered 2 colors and these are new markers, I am confident with my notebook, but just checking to see if there's any bleed through. So far so good, happy days. I'm not even sure if this type of pattern is officially called patchwork, but the idea is to create different patterns and stitch them together. I'll also add little stitch marks around some blocks to make it look like fabric pieces sewn together. If you know the proper name for this style, let me know in the comments. Or even just tell me what your April theme is. And color-wise, I'll be using green, pink, and yellow. There will be flower and leaf doodles, and of course some bunny rabbits since Easter is in April. Can you believe the first quarter of 2025 is already over? It's a busy time for me at the moment because 31st of March is the end of financial year in New Zealand. I've been tied up with accounts work for my stationery shop, doing stock take, filming, editing, and juggling everything at once. At the start of the year, I set a goal to do monthly and hopefully quarterly reviews, but I haven't done any yet. However, I'm determined to make a change. I've finally figured out a format, so once all the end of year stuff settles down, I'm hoping to get it done in the next week or 2. Some people ask me how I stay consistent with journaling, and I'd say the number one key for me is setting up a routine. I've gotten into a habit of journaling in the mornings. I wake up, make my coffee, sit at my desk, and start journaling before anything else. I'll fill in my habit trackers, jot down my reflections, and then plan my day. I've tried doing it at night before, thinking I'd save some time in the morning, but it just didn't work for me. My evenings are quite unpredictable. There's always something on, just things like chores, watching TV, shower. Sometimes I pack orders at night as well, or sometimes we go out. It's just hard to find a set time because you don't know when things finish and you are so easy to feel tired and just want to lie down and relax. So mornings work better for me. But the key is finding a routine that fits your life, whether it's 8 p.m. after the kids are in bed, 7 a.m. when you wake up, or even during your lunch break. As long as it's easy for you to do it repeatedly so it becomes a habit, becomes part of your life. Making it easy and accessible is also very important. My bullet journal and my weekly planner are my 2 main journals, so I'm keeping them on my desk within an arm's reach. My bullet journal is for reflections, so I only use it in the morning, but my weekly planner almost stays open on my desk all day, so I can jot down my to-dos, my ideas, and track my time whenever I need to. Another tip is to make journaling enjoyable. Use different colored pens, stickers, or washi tapes if drawing isn't your thing. For me, the motivation also comes from the satisfaction of having a beautiful, filled out page at the end of the month or the end of the year. I love flipping through my journals and seeing both the pretty pages and the memories. Last but not least, is not to stress out when you miss a few pages. Nobody is perfect. It's totally normal and fine. You might be sick, you might have gone traveling, you might just not feel like doing it. That's totally okay. If your journal is dated, you can use the blank pages for pen swatch or cover them with stickers or photos. If it's undated, even better, just pick up where you left off. The important thing is to keep going. The last step for my April monthly cover is adding the title. I'm keeping it small this time so it blends in with the other patterns. For the monthly calendar, I'll draw a little block for each day on the left. If you've seen my previous videos, you know I did a highlight today using washi tapes and stickers to create a mini collage for each day. For April, I might do the same, but I'm also considering doodles since there are already quite some drawings here. You might be ashamed to cover them up. I haven't decided yet, we'll see. Either way, I'll go ahead and set up the drawings here first. Each block is 4x5 dots with 6 blocks per row and 5 rows total. Perfect for the 30 days in April. This layout wouldn't work for a 31-day month. I'm using pretty much the same patterns as the right side, almost like the fabric patches. And after adding the dates, my April bullet journal cover is complete. I think it turned out pretty cute and feels like spring. Now let's move on to the weekly spread. Since I spent quite a bit of time on the cover, I'm keeping the weekly spread simple. Plus, with 5 weekly layouts this month, including the first couple of days of May, I want to make sure it stays manageable. That reminds me that people sometimes ask how much time I spend journaling since it seems like a lot of work. But honestly, my drawings are pretty simple, mostly repetitive patterns. I usually spend about 20 to 30 minutes a day, including filling my habit trackers, writing my daily reflections, which is what this bullet journal is for, and planning out my day. And at the beginning of each month, I take a few hours to set things up. Then at the end of each week, I spend probably an extra 20 minutes reviewing and decorating my weekly planner, and that's it. It never feels like a burden to me. If anything, it helps me stay on top of my day, my week, and my month. It's definitely an essential part of my routine. As much as I want my journal to look pretty, functionality is still my priority. I don't want to make my drawings so complex that I lose motivation to keep up with them. I know there are plenty of ways to make it prettier, but at the end of the day, this is a functional journal, not an art book. So anyways, I might be talking too much. For week 1, I'm drawing a few patches and framing each day with my usual 7 blocks for the week, plus 1 block for a weekend review. And for week 2, I went with a bigger plaid pattern and wrote the dates inside the grid. I added a few flowers in the middle to separate the writing space and make the page more visually interesting. And since the first 2 weeks are mainly green and yellow, I decided to add some pink for week 3 and 4. The layouts are simple framed blocks, but I varied them slightly each day to keep things interesting. I especially love the fine tip of this pen for week 4. I purposely kept the lines wavy instead of straight, which gives it a more playful look. I really love these markers. They are smooth, easy to control, and dry super fast. Plus, there's no bleed through at all, which is so important for bullet journaling, or anybody that uses planners will understand. And the notebook I'm using is the Paper Ideas Dotted Journal in A5. It's got 100 GSM paper and it handles the ink very well. I can even draw a few layers on top. If you are interested, I've linked it in the description box below. It's available from my stationery shop, Hedgehog Journals. For the last week, I actually made a little mistake with the layout. For the left page, I originally planned for 1 writing space on the left and 3 on the right, with the right page mirroring it, so I can put 4 drawing blocks to the 4 corners. But I accidentally made the bottom left line too thick, so I adjusted it to a 2 and 2 layout instead. Turns out it's not a bad design at all. Since I need 8 large writing spaces for each weekly layout, my design options are limited, I reckon, so discovering new format by accident was a nice surprise. For the pattern this week, I went with a checkered design, using green as the main color and alternating between light yellow and pink. I also added little hearts, flowers, and bows on the pattern for extra charm. And after adding the dates and days of the week, my entire April bullet journal is all set up. Let's do a quick flip through. I think it turned out super cute with a nice hint of spring. Huge thanks again to Ohuhu for sending me these lovely markers. I'm really happy with how the drawings turned out. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to drop a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Bye for now.